Kick-ass facts, pew pew pew! Stress and trauma experienced by parents, grandparents, and even earlier ancestors can leave chemical marks on DNA through a process called epigenetics. These marks don't change through the DNA sequence itself, but can turn genes on or off, affecting how they work. Both mothers and fathers can pass down these epigenetic changes, mothers through their eggs and fathers through their sperm, which can influence their children's health, behavior, and responses to stress. In this way, we carry not just the genetic code of our family, but also biological traces of their life experiences. Unit 731 was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II, based in Manchuria, northeast China. It conducted horrific experiments on prisoners, including Chinese civilians, prisoners of war, and others without their consent. The experiments involved exposure to deadly pathogens, vivisection without anesthesia, testing of biological weapons, and other brutal acts. Tens of thousands of people died as a result. After the war, many involved were granted immunity by the United States in exchange for their research data, meaning very few were ever held accountable. Which of these existed first? A. Trees. B. Dinosaurs. C. Sharks. Or D. Flowers? The correct answer is C. Sharks have existed for over 400 million years, long before trees, 350 million years, dinosaurs, 230 million years, or flowering plants, 130 million years. In 1962, British editor Brendan Grimshaw bought the deserted island of Moyen in the Seychelles for $13,000. No one had lived there for 50 years. Instead of developing it, he moved in and with a local friend spent decades planting 16,000 trees, introducing wildlife and restoring the island's ecosystem. They introduced giant tortoises, built nature trails, and protected the land from development. He refused offers of millions of dollars from developers, choosing to protect the land instead. He lived on Moyen until his death in 2012, and it eventually became a national park, the smallest one in the world. Chess grandmaster Anna Muzychuk refused to compete in the 2022 World Rapid and Blitz Championship in Saudi Arabia, saying she'd lose 2 world titles because she wouldn't follow the country's restrictive rules for women, like wearing an abaya or needing a male escort every time she left her hotel. Despite the tournament's huge prize money, she chose her principles over profit, refusing to feel like a second-class citizen. Her decision sparked global debate on women's rights in sports, but sadly, she noted, no one seems to care. The grave with the hands is a grave in the Netherlands created in 1888. Due to the strict religious segregation at the time, the couple, a Protestant colonel and a Catholic noblewoman, were buried in separate sections of the cemetery with a wall between them. To symbolize their enduring bond, their graves are connected by 2 carved hands, one masculine and one feminine, reaching over the wall that separated them in their resting places. Which of these body parts is missing at birth? A. Eyelashes, B. Fingernails, C. Kneecaps, or D. Belly button? The correct answer is C, kneecaps. Babies are born with soft cartilage where the kneecaps will form. Babies are actually born with way more bones than adults, around 270 compared to 206 in grown-ups. Over time, usually during childhood, that cartilage slowly turns into bone through a process called ossification. So as we grow, some bones fuse together and new ones harden, which is why adults end up with fewer bones than babies. Veterinarians at the California Wildlife Center rescued a small mockingbird suffering from severe foot deformities that made walking and perching difficult. To help the bird regain mobility, the veterinary team designed and crafted customized snowshoes tailored precisely to the bird's feet. These tiny little shoes provided gentle support and realignment, encouraging the bird's feet to develop into a normal shape over time. They carefully monitored and adjusted the snowshoes and allowed the bird to slowly build strength and balance. It only took a week. Within just 1 week of wearing the custom footwear, the bird's feet had actually corrected enough to resemble a typical bird's foot structure. This progress enabled the mockingbird to walk independently again, which got him closer to being released back into the wild. In the rubber hand illusion, you sit with one of your real hands hidden out of sight, like behind a screen or under a table, while a fake rubber hand sits in front of you. Then someone strokes both your hidden hand and the rubber hand at the same time, moving the brush in perfect sync. After a little while, your brain starts to feel like the rubber hand is actually part of your body. You might even flinch if someone suddenly pokes the fake hand. If the stroking isn't perfectly lined up, like the timing is off, the illusion falls apart. During U.S. President Andrew Jackson's funeral in 1845, guests were shocked when his pet parrot named Paul began loudly cursing. The bird had apparently picked up Jackson's salty language over the years and let it all out during the service, so much so that it had to be physically removed from the church. Witnesses described it as both hilarious and deeply inappropriate, especially considering the solemn occasion. During the Middle Ages, several churches across Europe claimed to possess the holy foreskin, the circumcised foreskin of Jesus, believed to be a sacred relic. It was highly revered, often stolen or hidden during wars and upheaval. Its whereabouts remain a mystery, and some scholars believe it may have been lost or destroyed centuries ago.